So, at the risk of potentially blowing this out of proportion, I do want to emphasize that people can make mistakes over at Bungie, and it happens. They're only human, and with all the layoffs and stuff, some things can be forgiven. And this is, of course, me referring to some community art being used in game and in the collaboration with Nerf for the Ace of Spades replica. Now, with that being said, I did mention in the past video just discussing the Ace of Spades controversy that there was a cutscene back in Season of the Deep that released with an image of the veiled statue that was copying the art of Julian Felona. And at the time of that controversy, which was actually like, I think maybe a year ago around this time, maybe a little bit longer, Bungie did immediately respond to make sure that Felona did know that they were going to reach out and compensate them. But with this controversy about the Ace of Spades replica coming up, Felona actually replied to the Destiny 2 team tweet saying that they haven't heard a word since. They were just told they were going to get compensation, and they never received said compensation. And the article I'm getting some of this information from, most of it is from Twitter, but I did look through the replies, and known Destiny 2 community manager Cosmo did reply to Felona and shot them an email. So, presumably Felona will eventually get compensated for this. But I mean, it's been a year and a half, maybe less, since that happened. And this is my point, to just reiterate that the constant here is Bungie, right? They did say with the cutscene, and I could believe it because maybe they send the cutscene to someone else to edit and whatnot and to create. But at the end of the day, this stuff has to be vetted through a system. And, I'm not saying they should have to go look at every single community artist, right? Like, that would take a very long time. But they should, when these things crop up, immediately nip them in the bud, so people like me making videos about it can't be like, well, why is this happening in the first place? Because it just doesn't look good for the company, and I don't want to make assumptions about how this happens or why this happens. I just want it to stop because it's silly. It's a silly thing to have to cover, and I just wanted to talk about it because I didn't mention it in that previous video, and of course bring it to attention so that maybe the right people at Bungie see it, although they seem to have already seen it at this point. But yeah, it's the silliest thing in the world, and it shouldn't be happening at this point. But when it does happen, because like I mentioned at the beginning, mistakes happen, you gotta own up to it, and you just gotta nip them in the bud and move forward. Because letting something like this drag on just continues to give Bungie bad PR. And as much as people might think, oh well, bad PR doesn't exist for a video game, Bungie's a company, right? At the beginning of all this, they're a company, and PR and optics matter way more than you think, right? It's important for them to keep this golden image, and it keeps deteriorating. And obviously people are still going to play the game. I'm still going to play the game. I'm just going to continue to advocate for community artists who don't get the recognition or compensation that they've been promised. I mean, it's scummy, right? To profit off of these guys and just say, oh, our bad. Like, no, you're a multi-million-dollar company, and these guys are people on Twitter who make art for a living, and every penny counts for them, and they don't get the recognition they deserve, and it's just messed up. So hopefully Felona gets the compensation they're looking for as well, and Tofu Rabbit got theirs. So it's all about just making sure everyone gets what they are owed. And if they like using their art so much, just hire them. Commission something from them. Don't just use their art without their knowledge. Anyways, thanks for watching yet again. I promise we'll have some other content aside from this. I'm very passionate about this stuff because, you know, not that these people need someone to defend them, but more so it's just getting the word out there and trying to show people that this stuff does happen with Bungie, and also as like an archive, so we can look back and be like, well, hey, they were doing this then. Are they improving on it, right? Did they commission someone? Did they compensate them right away without, further controversy? Or did they just continue with the same behavior, right? So that's also why I like to make these videos, is to look back and see the difference in how they're treating people. Anyways, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.